Boys and girls, for our phonics lesson today, we are going to be investigating different sounds that ED makes in different words. Today I want to teach you that some word endings like ED can sound more than one way. What do you notice about the underlined words in my writing? I saw a bear. I stopped walking. I stayed very still. Then I slowly started to back away. What do you notice about the underlined words in my writing? You're right, they all have an ED ending. But they don't all sound like the same ending, do they? Stopped, stayed, and started. So there are some common word endings: ing, ed, ses, and er. Today we're going to focus on the ed ending. So we're going to do this activity together. We're going to sort the words by the ed sound they make. In the word stopped, the ed sounds like a T, and you can see I have a T in that little sound box above the word stopped. The word stayed. The ed makes the D sound, the D sound. In the word started, the ed sounds like id. So we're going to read through these words, and then we're going to put them where they belong. If the ed sounds like t, 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 then we'll put it where the T is. If it sounds like d, 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 like in stayed, then we'll put the word in the middle column by the D sound. If the ed ending says id, like in started, then we will put the word in the id column. So let's start with the word worked. Where do you think worked should go? Does it sound like a T, a D, or an id? Worked. You're right. It sounds like a T. Stopped, worked. Still an ed ending, just sounds like a T. Now let's look at the word played. Played. Is the ed ending sounding like a T, 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 a D, 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 or id? Played. You're right. It sounds like d, d. Stayed, played. They both say the D sound. Okay, let's take a look at this next word. Visited. I visited my grandma. Does the ed in visited say t, d, or id? Visited. You are right again. Sounds like id, just like started, visited. All right. What about smelled? Smelled. Does the ed say t, d, or id in smelled? I smelled the yummy cookies baking in the kitchen. Smelled. I agree. It comes in the middle. Stayed, played, smelled. What about planted? I planted flowers. Planted. Sounds like id, but it's an ed ending. All right, last one. Kicked. He kicked the soccer ball. Kicked. The ed in kicked makes that T sound. So we're going to move it all the way over to the T column. Stopped, worked, kicked. Good job. The ed can make 3 different sounds: the T sound, the D sound, or the id. All right, let's find ed endings in a book that we're reading from Dinosaurs Long Ago. Dinosaurs long ago. Long ago, dinosaurs ruled the earth. Did you see the word ruled? Sounds like a D ending, doesn't it? Let's see if you can find any on the next page. Some dinosaurs hunted for meat, but the biggest dinosaurs munched on trees. Did you see two ED words? Hunted has the id ending, and munched sounds like the T ending. Good job. All right. So remember, in your reading and your writing, the ED ending can make 3 different sounds.